I run a home appliance repair shop in downtown Jingzhou. To attract customers, I put up a sign saying I can repair spaceships and space stations. On the bottom, aircraft carriers and nuclear submarines, anything that runs on electricity I can fix. To my surprise, a big shot from the military actually showed up. That day, I was just idling in the shop when a well-dressed, very elegant beauty walked in. "Boss, can you really fix anything?" "Of course. Didn't you see my ad? I take on repairs for nuclear subs, aircraft carriers, space station parts. Bulk orders get discounts. Honest pricing. Miss, do you need a nuclear sub or an aircraft carrier fixed?" She clearly wasn't in the mood for jokes. She set the case on the table and opened it. Inside, it looked like a battery, wrapped tightly with cushioning foam. Tiny wires and minuscule crystals crisscrossed in a dense arrangement. Seeing this, I abruptly sat up straight. "What's this? A lithography machine?" More precisely, the calibration sensor module of a lithography machine. During an experiment, power overload caused the core probe to crack and burn. Our project team urgently needs it. Her name is Chen Qingkai, a researcher at the Dragon Science Institute. Due to an accident during the experiment, the equipment was damaged, halting the entire project. Several professional institutions in the country have clearly stated that this machine cannot be repaired in the short term. If she weren't completely desperate, she wouldn't come to this shabby little repair shop to try her luck. "A lithography machine? Miss, are you sure you have the right place? This is a home appliance repair shop. Maybe try the hardware store next door?" Shun Qingzi looked at my clueless expression, and the last shred of hope in her heart vanished instantly. She sighed, picked up the case and turned to leave. "Right, even the professional institutions can't fix it. How could a home appliance repairman?" Seeing this, I quickly dropped the joking attitude. 6 months ago, I transmigrated here, inherited this repair shop, and got bound to the wireless repair system. Finding successful. Over the past few months, I've seen plenty of weird and strange items, but only a few were valuable. A top-tier thing like a lithography machine, now that's right in my wheelhouse. Looking at the component in your hand. It should be a C7 type lithography machine. Hearing that, Shun Qingzi froze mid-step. "How do you know the model? Tell me, what's its surge peak? How many nanoseconds does it last? Besides the probe crack, are there any other damages?" This, Shun Qingzi's breath caught. She could hardly believe her ears. The owner of a home appliance repair shop could ask such professional questions. Those terms were top-secret information. "The peak is 15 times the normal power. The surge lasts about 3 to 5 nanoseconds. Other components passed self-diagnostics. Well, I can fix it, but it won't be cheap. Money's no problem. If you can fix it, I'll apply for funds right away." Upon hearing that, I smirked slightly. I hold up 5 fingers. "Fine, 5 million it is." Shun Qingzi grits her teeth. Although the price is outrageous, given the current situation, she has no room to bargain. "What are you thinking? 5 million? $500, no haggling. Mainly because repairing this thing uses a lot of electricity." 500? Are you sure? Shun Qingzi is completely baffled. She feels her understanding has been turned upside down, so she quickly pulls out her phone. She scans the payment QR code and pays. Ding, Alipay received 500 yuan. Seeing this, I grin widely, slowly put on a pair of anti-static gloves, and spread a relatively clean white cloth on the table. Then I carefully take out the module from the box and place it on the table. "System, we've got a job." The next second, a panel appears before my eyes. Reparable item detected. C7 lithography machine calibration sensor module. Damage level 88%. Repair plan analyzed. Once everything is ready, I turn around and take down an army green box from the dusty shelf. The moment the box opens, Shun Qingzi's eyes nearly pop out. "Ah, what are all these things?" She thought I had some secret weapon, but when the box opens, the contents shock her. A bizarrely modified soldering iron, a household heat gun, and the rest of the tools are similar. Either a kitchen egg beater or various junk salvaged from the trash. "Boss, you're not planning to use this junk to repair my lithography machine parts, are you?" "Don't worry, these tools are heirlooms. Back when Apollo landed on the moon, they even used them for polishing. If it weren't for the fact that this is a lithography machine, I'd be reluctant to bring them out." As I prepare, I grin at her. "What? Apollo moon landing?" Shun Qingzi's mouth twitches violently. Although she now deeply regrets coming into this shop, there's no other choice now. She has to try anything. On the other side, I've already picked up the hairdryer in my hand and start blowing it at the module. There's no scorching heat as expected, just a faint smell of ozone. But Shun Qingzi, standing by, is amazed to see the densely packed circuits. "Boss, what is this?" The inverse reaction of electrostriction, using a specific frequency to turn into pulses. Restoring metal memory, simply put, means helping it remember what it originally looked like. Before Shun Qingzi could react, I had already plugged in that ugly soldering iron. A needle at the end of the soldering iron was slowly turning red. Seeing this, Shun Qingzi's shock hadn't even settled before his heart tightened again. "What are you doing? What are you going to do with a red-hot needle?" But on my face was an unprecedented seriousness. I held the needle perfectly still, then slowly brought it toward the damaged core of the module, the probe array. The moment the tip got close, A barely visible arc of electricity flickered. Chen Qingxi witnessed a scene he would never forget. Don't be so surprised, okay? Isn't this just a cold atom glass? A researcher from Lonka Academy, and you're acting like you've never seen anything. It's just a cold atom glass. Do you even hear what you're saying? This kind of technology, even in our future tech speculative papers, we wouldn't dare write about it. Chen Qingxi was too stunned to speak. He felt that the scientific worldview he had built over decades of hard study was being shattered by this man with a pile of scrap metal. Alright, last step, rebuilding the probe array and micron circuits. Chen Qingxi just stared at me as I took some fine powder from a cookie tin, put it into a small glass bottle, then stuck an egg beater into the bottle, and started it up. This is ultrasonic atomization suspension. Oh, you've seen it? Then I guess you're not a bad researcher. I grinned. Then I fired up the soldering iron again. Through a special magnifier, Chen Qingxi saw that the burnt substrate circuits were quickly repairing themselves, and the repaired lines were even more perfect than before. By now, my forehead was covered in fine sweat. Fixed, but damn, this thing has some serious precision. Hearing this, Chen Qingxi's eyes went wide. That's it? Fixed? In less than half an hour? You really fixed it with a needle and a bunch of stuff from a cookie tin? Doubting my skills? You've been watching the whole time. If you're not sure, check it. Oh, right, I also improved the precision of your lithography machine, so you'll have to pay extra. Those words made Chen Qingxi's eyes pop. In his mind, the cold atom stripping technique I'd mentioned was still echoing. Overwhelmed, he now saw me as a true reclusive master. And now that reclusive master was talking about the most vulgar thing, money. Boss, what did you mean by that battery shrink? Or whatever earlier? Oh, I told you. A family secret passed down through generations. Not for sharing. A family secret? The lithography machine has only been around a few years. Your ancestors must be pretty young. You said add money. How much? About this much. 3 fingers. 30,000 or 300,000? Chen Qingxi was stunned again. Too much wouldn't be good, but too little seems worse. Fine, 300,000 it is. Hey, young lady, you can't just treat the government's money like it's nothing. 300. Stop saying thousand. Okay. Hearing that, Chen Qingxi's big eyes flickered with disbelief. You fixed all that, and you're not going to ask for an arm and a leg? That's lithography tech. Even if you asked for tens of millions, I'd have to pay up. 800, not a cent less. Oh, and I forgot to mention, I recalibrated the precision on your template. Sorry about that, but that template was really outdated. Couldn't help it. The original resonance frequency was too rough. I nudged it up 1 percentage point. Shouldn't affect your project much, right? How much? 1 percentage point. Chen Qingxi gasped sharply. As a professional, he knew exactly what that 1 percentage point was worth. Boss, could I get your contact info? What for? I'm a respectable man. I already fixed your stuff. Now you want to take me home too? Chen Qingxi was totally speechless. He really couldn't figure this guy out. One moment a reclusive master, the next a total letdown. No, I mean if I need something fixed next time, I want to reach you right away. I think you're afraid I'll disappear if it's not fixed properly. Don't worry, my shop's right here. Come anytime. If it's not fixed right, I'll refund your 800. Chen Qingxi's mouth twitched hard, but then he remembered he had to get back to report. Just as he walked out the door, his phone rang. He pulled it out. It was Dean Zhou Dihao. Chen Qingxi, where are you? Weren't you supposed to repair the lithography module? Dean, don't worry. It's fixed. I'll bring it back right now. Fixed? Where did you get it fixed? At an appliance repair shop. Chen Qingxi, have you lost your mind? That's a lithography machine. Dean, I'm not lying. It's really fixed, the core sensor transmission chain. The micron-level conduction circuits are all repaired, and the precision has even improved by 1 percentage point. After hearing that, the other side was silent for a long time before finally speaking. Where are you? I'm coming to pick you up right now. Along the way, the research institute's car sped wildly. In the front seat, Zhou Dihao's face was ashen. He held the box tightly in his arms, every nerve in his body stretched to the limit. He knew that by now the dean was on the verge of exploding. But in his mind, all he could picture was my cocky attitude and those repair tools that looked like nothing but scrap metal. He even started to wonder if he had just been dreaming some bizarre dream. At the entrance of the Research Institute building, researchers from every project group had already gathered. The moment the car stopped at the gate, everyone crowded around. Lin Shui, how is it? Did you fix the module? Where's the thing? Hurry up and show us. Our project can't wait any longer. It is fixed, right? What do you mean, it is fixed, right? You either fixed it or you didn't. And where exactly did you get it fixed? Our specialized institutions said it would take at least a few months. You've only been gone for a few hours and it's already fixed. I had it fixed at an appliance repair shop. Everyone gasped sharply upon hearing this. Appliance repair? This is a lithography machine. What were you doing at an appliance repair shop? Isn't this complete nonsense? Jiang Lingxue, have you lost your mind? You're playing games with our entire Longyuan Institute. He was trembling all over, tears starting to well up in his eyes. Everyone shut up. Jiang Lingxue, Are you sure it's fixed? His mind went blank and he nodded. Fine. Take the module to Lab 1 for testing. If it's fixed, you'll get major credit. If not, get ready for a court-martial. With things already at this point, the only hope left was to trust that seemingly ridiculously unreliable repair shop owner. Inside Lab 1, several professionals in protective gear carefully took the module out of the box and began testing. My God, what kind of welding technique is this? The repaired circuits are beautiful. Jiang Xuejing must have found some master we don't know about. This looks like it came straight from the factory. No, wait, this is even more perfect than the original. There's no trace of repair at all. A few minutes later, bursts of admiration could be heard from the crowd in the distance. He looked up dazedly at everyone. No, this material isn't right. Analyze this material immediately. It seems we don't have a repair material like this here. Yes, Dean. The materials team immediately started the equipment and performed a full scan and analysis of the repaired section of the module. Lin Shue's heart was in her throat again. Dean, our database shows we don't currently have any material like this. What? Even the database doesn't have it? It's already 2026. There are still undiscovered materials in the world. Quick, power it up and run tests. Zhou Dihao could no longer hide his excitement. Everyone quickly took their positions. Power system self-check complete. No anomalies. Internal logic unit test complete. Recording test complete. All values are within acceptable range. Green data entries popped up on the big screen. Every single sound made everyone present feel like their hearts were being struck. A module that had been declared physically burned out actually passed every self-check procedure. This isn't scientific. Quick, run the precision test. Zhou Dihao wobbled and sat down in his chair, as if completely drained. Report, Dean. The values are a bit off. The researcher's words made Shen Qingxi's pupils contract sharply. He clenched his hands tightly, sweat soaking through his sleeves. So it did fail after all, huh? Zhou Dihao shot up from his chair. What's wrong? What's the issue? This seems to be a very advanced lithography machine module. The values are plus 29.00, 22.55, plus 15.90, minus 21.90, minus 200.52, improved by 1 percentage point compared to what we used before. I suspect this module isn't ours. But currently, the world doesn't seem to have this level of capability. Improved by 1 percentage point? Zhou Dihao felt as if struck by lightning. His eyes rolled back, and he collapsed straight to the floor. Everyone else was buzzing with excitement, staring at the scrolling data on the big screen. But Shen Qingxi stood there still in a daze, looking at everyone. So, did we fix the lithography machine calibration module or not? Fixed it. Drop the or not. It's fixed. Xiao Shui, this isn't just a fix. This is a breakthrough. You made a major contribution. His mind went blank. He pointed dumbly at his own nose, still not recovered from the fear. What? I made a contribution. Just now the dean said I was headed for a court-martial. How did it turn into a contribution in the blink of an eye? Jiang Mingxue, in recognition of your outstanding performance in overcoming this major technical challenge, as dean, I hereby appoint you as the lead of this research group. He was starting to doubt his own ears. Just getting into the Longyuan Institute to work was already the ceiling for an ordinary person. I'm not nearly qualified to be promoted to group leader. Could it be because of this module repair? So now he believes it. That seemingly unreliable young guy was right. He didn't just fix the lithography module. Even the 1% precision adjustment was real. Spill it, group leader Jiang. A lot of professional institutions said it couldn't be fixed. Which military factory or general staff department did you go to? This is a big deal. I have to go thank them in person. I'm not lying to you guys. I really got it fixed at a home appliance repair shop. A street vendor stall. They can barely fix a TV. This is a lithography machine. Shen Qingxi, are you messing with us? Your joke isn't funny at all. I'm not joking. I had no other choice, so I went to that repair shop. Because the sign hanging outside caught my eye. What sign? Up top, we fix spaceships and space stations. Down below, we fix aircraft carriers and nuclear subs. If it runs on electricity, we can fix it. Lonka department. The whole lab went dead silent. Then I went in. The owner used a soldering iron, a heat gun, and an egg beater to fix the module. In the end, he charged me $800. Watching everyone's reactions, her voice trailed off, and at that moment, everyone looked at Shen Qingxi. With shock and disbelief, an egg beater to fix a lithography machine? What is this world coming to? If he really has that kind of skill, the whole world would probably fight over him. Seeing this, Zhou Dihao stepped forward immediately and shouted at everyone, this matter is temporarily classified as top secret. Anyone who leaks it will be charged with espionage. The project team will immediately produce a batch of chips using the new precision specifications. I want to see results as soon as possible. After saying that, he waved at her. Xiao Shui, don't leave yet. Do you still remember where that repair shop is? I do. Good, take me there. I want to meet this boss. Wait for me outside. I need to grab something. If this boss can fix this thing too, then whatever he wants, Zhou Dihao will give it to him. A few minutes later, they finally saw Zhou Dihao rushing over. But when he saw what Zhou Dihao was holding in his arms, his heart sank. Isn't that the South Dipper number 3? Global Satellite Navigation System chip? Dean, you don't actually want that boss to fix this, do you? Can this even be repaired? Soon after, the two drove to my shop. As soon as they walked in, they greeted me like old friends. Boss, long time no see. Brought someone else along this time. You here to pick a fight? No, boss, don't misunderstand. There's nothing wrong with what you fixed. This is an elder of mine. He heard about your skills and wants you to take a look at something. Since they weren't here to cause trouble, I felt more at ease. Since they're repeat customers, I'll give you face. Take it out. Let me see what's up. As for Zhou Dihao, from the moment he walked in, he was sizing up the shop. It was even shabbier than he expected. He thought a place that could fix a lithography machine would at least have some professional equipment. But not only was there none, it was even more run-down than an average repair shop. Hearing my words, Zhou Dihao opened the case in his hands. Boss, take a look. Can this be fixed? I pretended to pick up the chip and study it. But inside, I was frantically calling out to my system. System, scan now. Reparable item detected. South Dipper number 3 satellite navigation chip, military encrypted version. Damage level, 92%. Analyzing repair plan. FCIC if can. Main logic gate node overloaded. Data buffer failed. Military grade. I knew this old man was no ordinary guy the moment he walked in. Never expected he'd be military. Looks like I've caught the attention of the higher-ups. Little brother, what is this chip? Isn't this the South Dipper satellite navigation chip? The main logic gate blew up and the data buffer is toast too. Must have been from a sudden power surge. Your protection measures aren't up to par. The entire shop fell dead silent. For the first time, a look of sheer astonishment appeared in Zhou Dihao's weathered eyes. Looks like this kid does have something after all. So, boss, can you fix this here? I can fix it, but the money. I raised 5 fingers and waved them in front of Zhou Dihao. Seeing this, Zhou Dihao was ecstatic inside. 500,000? Hell, even 50 million. Would be worth it. Okay, card or cash? No, not 500,000. It's 500 bucks. What, 500 bucks? You can't even buy the chips packaging for 500 bucks. That price is an insult to the nation's cutting-edge technology. Take it or leave it. You research guys have it way too easy with money. 500 bucks, not a penny more. Take it or I won't fix it. We'll take it, boss. He quickly pulled out his phone and scanned the QR code. Zhou Dihao was speechless, watching, as a strategic top-tier chip that concerns an entire nation was taken on by a young man for 500 bucks. TCH, if it weren't for you being regulars, I wouldn't even take this job. You think I'm hard up for that 500 bucks? Pretty funny, but Zhou Dihao's face was turning green at a visible rate. You call this a small favor? This is the core component of the entire Nandu satellite. He was all serious a second ago. How'd he suddenly turn so dramatic? Director, don't worry. This boss is just like that. People with real skill always have a weird temper. I don't care. Zhou Dihao's face went purple. He turned to the corner and dragged out another small case. When the case opened, Zhou Dihao's heart almost jumped out of his throat. A vintage hand drill that looked like it came from some dental clinic, an old-fashioned clamp, and something that looked like a hand-cranked coffee grinder. All this junk together wouldn't even fetch $5 from a scrap dealer. Zhou Dihao couldn't hold it in anymore. His hands trembling, he pointed at that pile of scrap metal. His voice shaking, "Boss, you're not seriously going to use these things to fix my chip, are you? What, you look down on my tools? Then take it back and figure it out yourselves. My little repair shop can't handle big shots like you." I got ticked off instantly. I tossed my tools aside and plopped down in my chair. "We'll take it, boss, we already paid," she quickly chimed in, playing peacemaker. Zhou Dihao's face was beet red, but Chen managed to hold him back. I shot him a glare. Then I slowly clamped the chip into the clamp. At the same time, Chen very smoothly picked up my special magnifying glass. Through it, Zhou Dihao and Chen saw something unbelievable. What kind of technique is this? Are you giving the chip a perm? Zhou Dihao's hair stood on end. He felt like all his years of research had been for nothing. A hair clamp fixing chips? Then what was all that stuff he'd studied for? If this was all it took, he could have just bought a clamp at the supermarket for 20 bucks. Saved himself 500. Xiao Shui, are you sure this is how he fixed the lithography machine? This is like Hong Xiaohai. Doesn't look like repairing anything at all. Right, director? Look at that powder. That technique is called ultrasonic atomization suspension. Ultrasonic atomization suspension? What kind of technique is that? Is that in any book? I couldn't be bothered with them. I picked up the dental drill, dipped it in the powder, and started repairing the damaged parts of the chip. The whole process was pretty much the same as fixing a lithography module, but the materials were totally different. Microscopic arcs of electricity jumped from the needle tip to the chip's circuitry, precisely mending every sunken spot. This is way more outlandish than hand-tearing a Gotzi. Okay, done. That's it? Done? This is the chip for the Nandu satellite navigation system. How long did you take? Even at a professional lab, it'd take months. Just to come up with a plan. Well, what did you expect? A ribbon-cutting ceremony? Let your boss give a speech. Zhou Dihao really wanted to curse. This kid is incredibly skilled, but his mouth is vicious. One sentence choked him speechless, watching me toss all the tools back into the box. Like I just fixed a rice cooker that wouldn't light up, so casual. An overwhelming sense of absurdity washed over Zhou Dihao. I must be crazy, or this is a dream. How is this possible? His face flushed red, and he looked like he could barely breathe. Director, are you okay? Hey, I just fixed your stuff, don't die on me here. I need this little shop to make a living. I'm fine. Zhou Dihao struggled to calm himself. Director, you need to get used to it. This is just the boss's usual routine. Usual routine? Xiao Shui, do you have any idea how much this whole thing crushed me? Our entire Lonka Institute. Hundreds of experts, pouring all their effort into a problem, and he solves it with some cheap dental drill and a hair clamp. Old man, I fixed your chip. Also, your Munsign algorithm is pretty low level. I tweaked it for you, and the number of cages in the bottom layer isn't enough, and the arrangement is all wrong. I adjusted that too. It was nothing. Seeing Zhou Dihao recover a bit, I let out a long breath. I was going to make him throw in another 200, but after seeing him almost pass out, I decided to let it slide. Didn't want to actually kill the old man on my floor. What? In that short time, you not only fixed the chip but also optimized the algorithm and rearranged the cage layout? Is that even humanly possible? Alright, take the chip back. I'll let you off without paying extra this time. You got a huge deal. The transition frequency should be more stable now, and the timing error should drop by 1 or 2 orders of magnitude. I can't calculate the exact reduction. Take it back and test it yourselves. Zhou Dihao couldn't take it anymore. His eyes bugged out, his legs gave way, and he collapsed flat on the floor. Over on the other side, inside Dragon Science Institute's number 1 cleanroom, figures crisscrossed. Every face is grave as if they were fighting a war. Photoresist coating uniformity check complete, error within allowable range. Mask calibration in progress, target precision improved by 1%, realignment parameters being recalculated. Vacuum suit pressure stable, 19 passed, 01.60-18-190, reached preset value. CP.20-17-906. Reports came in one after another. Urgency filled every voice. Chief Engineer He Zhiheng stared fixedly at the big screen, listening to the constant stream of voices through his earpiece. A full percentage point improvement. 24 nanometers. 90-13-38, the most outrageous experiment. As long as its existence was confirmed, from now on China could surpass the precision of foreign lithography machines by several generations. All CA items pass, could surpass foreign lithography machines by several generations in precision. Something repaired by a roadside repair stall still made him doubt. Initiate the exposure sequence. He Zhiheng gave the final order through the intercom, and a faint thud sounded as the lithography machine began running. Everyone held their breath, success or failure hung on this moment. Data scrolled wildly across the big screen. Every character felt like every heart was pounding wildly. PC 13.60-200, exposure complete, developing clear, drying. Every step was textbook perfect. When the wafer carrying so many people's hopes was sent into the inspection station by the robotic arm, He Zhiheng's heart nearly stopped beating. Inspection result perfect, all unit items normal. Structure intact, actual precision ratio improved by 1.2%. The entire lab fell silent instantly. Everyone stood frozen like wooden statues. We did it, we succeeded, oh my god, am I dreaming? Everyone laughed, but tears flowed freely like a spring. He Zhiheng stared blankly at that 1.2% on the big screen, his body trembling uncontrollably. All the years of study, all the knowledge he had acquired, utterly destroyed by an appliance repairman. Meanwhile, the atmosphere in the high-level Chinese government meeting room was heavy. In the 7th Research Institute, the dozens of meters-long conference table was packed. Every person there was among China's most influential scientists. Everyone has read Zhou Dihao's report. Let's hear your thoughts. Song Mingyuan tapped the table, his voice slightly irritated. On the table before each person lay the latest report from the Dragon Science Institute's 7th Research Institute. What's there to say? Zhou Dihao is outright fooling around. The lithography machine calibration module is the core of the core. Even globally, only a handful of countries can repair it. And he gives it to an appliance repairman to fix a lithography machine module? Does he think the lithography machine is a TV? Elder Yen slammed the table and stood up, his face full of anger. I agree with Elder Yen. What does the report say? Public enterprise? Family heirloom skill? Civilian expert? Does he think he's writing a martial arts novel? I think Zhou Dihao is under too much pressure. And having hallucinations. We've been strangled by Western countries for so many years. We understand everyone's anxiety. But at times like this, we must keep a clear head. Zhou Dihao is fabricating false reports. This isn't simple dereliction of duty, it's a serious disciplinary violation. The meeting room atmosphere grew heavier. Almost everyone's opinion was remarkably consistent. Song Mingyuan listened to the discussion, his brow furrowing deeper. He knew Zhou Dihao was a scientist rigorous to the extreme, definitely not someone who would talk nonsense. Dean Zhou Dihao's contributions to scientific research are clear for all to see. Perhaps there are other reasons for this matter. Or maybe there's some twist. I think the biggest problem is the report itself. I believe we should immediately suspend All research projects at the 7th Research Institute and dispatch an investigation team to look into this. I second that. I also second that. Song Mingyuan looked at the agitated crowd and sighed. This time, Zhou Dihao, you've really stepped on a landmine. Just then, a knock came at the meeting room door. The secretary at the door was flushed with urgency. Minister Song, the 7th Research Institute has sent another urgent report. Zhou Dihao again. Is he never going to stop? Is his next report going to say he built a Gundam? Elder Yen snorted coldly, his face growing darker. The report shows that the 7th Research Institute has just developed a new type of chip, using a brand new scale standard, a completely new standard. How new? The report says it improves precision by a full percentage point over our previous one. As the words fell, the entire meeting room went silent, then instantly erupted. A full percentage point. Do you know what that means? Give me the report immediately. Elder Yen lunged forward like an arrow and snatched the report. After a careful look, he began trembling uncontrollably. What's wrong, Elder Yen? Are you okay? These data are fine, but how is this possible? People can lie, experimental conditions can be faked, but data cannot. I've been in research for so many years. If any data were wrong, I'd spot it at a glance. But the data in this report is completely true. I'm telling you, Zhou Dihao has been the director for so many years. There's no way he'd violate the rules. But this whole thing is just too bizarre. Could it be that their prior work happened to peak at exactly the right moment? And then they just coincidentally broke through? A whole 1% increase, and you call that a coincidence? Song Mingyuan ignored the arguing crowd. He quickly grabbed the report and began examining it closely. 2853-52-3, 5515, 298-27, 390-256, 629, 187. A moment later, 2899-52-536. His eyes kept lingering on the 1.2% breakthrough and the brand new chip. Everyone, the data in this report is indisputable. That means Zhou Dihao's report couldn't possibly be fake. But the problem now lies with this repair shop. Song Mingyuan took a deep breath, his face showing surprise. But more than that, confusion. Home appliance repair, a folk master, or a family heirloom skill. The words all seem normal, but how can a guy who fixes toasters also fix a lithography machine? And most importantly, he actually fixed it and significantly improved the chip's performance. Director Song, I feel like this can't be real. That's a lithography machine module. How could it come from a home appliance repair shop? A lithography machine module. That's the core of the core. The number of countries in the world that can repair one is tiny. Maybe Director Zhou is trying to throw us off. Maybe that so-called home appliance repair shop is Director Zhou's secret base. Or maybe he's covering something up. The academicians all furrowed their brows. The meeting room erupted into chaos again. The chip results shocked them deeply. 2 to 37% 60. But the more shocked they were, the more curious they became about this repair shop. This home appliance repair shop. We need to look into it. Xiao Li, arrange a few people for me. Go find this repair shop and see if it actually exists. And remember, be discreet. The next day, I calmed myself down before opening the shop again. Yesterday, Zhou Dihao passed out right in my store. Good thing the ambulance got there fast, or else the few $100 I earned would have all gone to waste. Then 2 middle-aged men walked straight into the shop. They stood tall, with stern faces. Even though they were dressed like regular folks, their whole vibe was completely different from normal people. They might as well have had plain clothes written on their foreheads. Are you two shooting a spy drama? After entering, they immediately started looking around the place. They didn't look like they were here to get something fixed. Man, I just sent one guy off yesterday, and now 2 more show up. My little shop is turning into a tourist spot. Boss, you open for business? Of course I'm open. What can I fix for you two? A broken imported washing machine? Or a French door fridge that's not cooling? Boss, can you take a look at this thing? One of the men placed a small device on the counter. It was rectangular with no fancy packaging. What the hell is this? An old MP3 player? Or an old power bank? Yeah, it's an old music player. Can you fix it, boss? A music player? Since when does a music player look like that? You're kidding me. The moment these two walked in, I scanned every electronic item on them. This thing here is called a Black Hawk military encrypted device. The issue is a safety lock from an unplanned power loss. So these two aren't here to get something fixed. They're here to scope me out. This thing looks pretty old. Fixing it will be a pain. These old gadgets, they really test your skill. Half the time, it's not even broken. It's just throwing a tantrum. I tossed the bug in my hand. They exchanged glances. My whole mysterious act was clearly getting on their nerves. This time I didn't even pull out a tool. I just tapped on the bug a few times with my fingers. The taps were rhythmic and slow, like I was just casually knocking. But the two guys were already sweating buckets. He's tapping an emergency sequence reset. I heard it. This is a state-level bug. That kind of sequence reset is designed to destroy the internal sensor without detection. But how does a home appliance repair guy know that would fix it? As shock waves rippled through their minds, the red light on the bug in my hand started blinking. All right, it's done. Told you, this thing just needed a good smack. $20. WeChat scan or cash? I tossed the bug onto the table and held up 2 fingers. The 2 were completely stunned. How did you know? What, didn't I tell you? Family heirloom skill. My grandpa used this exact trick to cure constipation in the village tractor. But seriously, gentlemen, you hand me a bug and tell me it's an MP3? That's not exactly cool. If I'd fallen for it and taken this thing apart thinking it was a music player, and broke it, who'd be liable? At that, their hair practically stood on end, and their bodies jolted like they'd been electrocuted. They thought this young guy had no clue, but he'd seen right through them from the moment they walked in. Their faces were red as beets. Alright, save the chatter. $20, transfer it now. You 2 better not think about backing out. I've got cameras rolling the whole time. Fine. The 2 guys nodded repeatedly, then quickly pulled out their phones and scanned to pay $20. They fixed it but still didn't leave. I checked the payment notification, then looked at them curiously. We're leaving right now. They grabbed the bugging device and fled out of the shop. I was about to say, bugging me? But just as they got a short distance away from the shop, the 2 sat in their car, panting heavily. Director Song, how's our situation? Does that repair shop even exist? We found it, and the shop is real, but that guy's got something weird going on. Weirder than we expected. The moment we stepped in, we fell into his trap. He not only saw right through what we needed repaired, but he even knew the encryption unlock method. Knew our encryption unlock method. How is that possible? That bug is top tier. It was developed specifically for counterintelligence operations between countries. Are you kidding me? Director Song, every word I've said is true. That repair shop owner really is something strange. Hard to explain in just a few words. Fine, you 2 come back first. Inside the hospital, the smell of disinfectant filled Joe Dehao's nostrils. The ECG monitor emitted a steady, faint beep. Director, you're awake? The chip? Where's our chip? The chip is safe. He quickly grabbed the small case. Joe Dehao anxiously glanced inside. The chip lay unharmed. Only then did his tense heart relax. I want to be discharged. Director, the doctor says your current condition won't allow discharge. You need rest. No way. This is a critical moment. I have to leave the hospital. Joe Dehao stubbornly struggled to get up, quickly changed clothes, and clutched the South Satellite chip tightly to his chest. It used to be a piece of junk, but now it was his treasure. Go get the car. We're going back right away. Soon the building of the 7th Research Institute was within sight. The vehicle passed through layers of security checks and came to a steady stop at the entrance of the office building. As soon as the car stopped, a researcher in a white lab coat rushed over, his face full of anxiety. What's wrong? What happened? Director, people from the central system have arrived. They're in the lab right now. Let's go take a look. The central system. Why would they suddenly come to the 7th Research Institute? It seems they're here to inspect the newly developed precision chips from our lithography machine. That 1% accuracy. They don't quite believe it, so they came to check in person. What did you say? A chip with 1% precision has been developed? Upon hearing this, Zhou Dihao's eyes nearly popped out. Yes, it's been developed. Not long after you and group leader Zhao left, we got it done. Great, but who gave them the report? Normally, submitting a report has to be foolproof. The chip was just finished. And they rushed to hand a report to the central system? If something unexpected happens temporarily, that's falsifying scientific data and military intelligence. Falsifying charges of that magnitude is just asking for trouble. Alright, you immediately arrange for everyone who participated in the new product development, have them all gather in the lab. Come on. Zhou Dihao turned and dashed toward the lab. Inside the huge dust-free lab stood a group of people, pointing and discussing around the lithography machine. The leader was none other than Elder Yen from the central system. The calibration module's feedback loop has been optimized to the limit. The optical path compensation route has also been redesigned. This is absolutely masterful. The key is that all these optimizations were done within the existing architecture, without breaking any basic protocols. How is this possible? Director Zhou, can you tell us what exactly is going on in your lab? Forget the lithography machine for now, let's talk about this chip. Why does it have this kind of structure? Zhou Dihao's polite pleasantries instantly vanished upon hearing this. Explain? How the hell could he explain? He didn't even know the chip had been developed. Elder Yen, fellow academicians. This is a bit complicated to explain. Why don't we just go straight to the test data? That's more jargon. No explanation can hit harder than solid, official data. A newly developed chip was carefully picked up and placed into the test slot on the platform. A hum sounded as the slot locked automatically. Environment self-check began. Vacuum environment, normal. Temperature stabilized at 21.5 degrees Celsius. Electromagnetic shielding, activated. Starting baseline calibration. Precision test. Calibration module response time, 3.8 nanoseconds. Operation stable. Optical path deviation correction rate, 12.5 micrometers per second, exceeding design specifications by 1.2%. Hearing this unit's data report, a stir immediately arose among the crowd. Even just a basic metric had already shocked them deeply. Elder Yen hummed. This data is already quite astonishing. For a normal lithography machine's calibration module, the ASML original design correction peak is 12.1 micrometers. Elder Yen hummed with a stone-faced expression, appearing unfazed. Baseline test passed. Begin the second phase, high-intensity load testing. Zhou Dihao's face remained expressionless, but his uncontrollable trembling body had long since betrayed his inner anxiety. As soon as the command input was complete, a flood of data immediately appeared on the holographic projection. It surged wildly into the chip. This test was simulating the lithography machine operating under extreme conditions. Ultra-high-precision exposure and complex computational states. Today's occupancy rate was 99.6%. Temperature rising. Dr. SP.Sun plus 0.30 OMC17. Temperature rising. Dr. SP.Sun plus 0.30 DMC17. 45 degrees, 67 degrees, 70 degrees now. Everything hinged on this moment. The lab fell silent, with only the sound of everyone frantically swallowing saliva echoing repeatedly. In previous tests, once the chip exceeded the safe temperature, it would immediately activate self-protection, lowering its frequency and greatly reducing calibration performance. But right now, on the holographic screen, the calibration response time data hadn't dropped at all. It remained steadily at 3.8 nanoseconds. The temperature stabilized. German-made -4.00, -5.00, -22.00, -5.00, -2.00, -5.00, -2.00. Design angle correction. It's already 76 degrees. How is this possible? How is its heat dissipation power staying stable? This doesn't match our design plan at all. Old Yen and the others stared grimly at the holographic projection. This had completely overturned their conventional scientific understanding. At that moment, Zhou Dihao had a sudden urge to go big, to really show off. Good. Let the big shots at the central system see something. Everyone, get ready. Final test. Simulate the lithography machine operating under extreme vibration, high heat, and complex electromagnetic interference. Conduct ultra-precision calibration and durability testing. Director. Extreme vibration and strong electromagnetic interference are the highest standards. No chip can withstand that. It'll burn up instantly. Old Zhou, we've already seen the new chip's success. You don't need to keep testing. It's already perfect. But Zhou Dihao was like a madman now, refusing to listen to anyone. Even with Old Yen present, the 7th Research Institute was Zhou Dihao's territory. Did you not hear my order? Execute immediately. I said no testing. I'd like to see who dares to move. Old Yen was genuinely frantic now. Such a good chip, if it got ruined because Zhou Dihao suddenly increased the difficulty, everyone would be heartbroken. The staff from all testing units held their hands in the air, sweat dripping down their foreheads. Old Yen from the central system didn't want the test, but Zhou Dihao insisted on it. One was the central system, higher than the research institute, the other was their direct boss. Offending either was trouble. Wrong. The researchers from each unit didn't dare defy Zhou Dihao's order. The lithography machine, which had just stopped, started up again. The data on the holographic screen began scrolling wildly again. Zhou Dihao, I'm telling you, if this experiment fails, you'll be court-martialed. Zhou Dihao acted as if he hadn't heard, his eyes fixed on the big screen. On the holographic projection, the data representing calibration deviation rate kept rising and falling, showing the chip struggling under extreme conditions to maintain optical calibration. Stay steady. Suddenly, the final deviation probability appeared on the holographic projection. A string of zeros. 0 errors. Everyone's eyes went wide. Am I seeing things? Retest. Do it again. Upon hearing this, Old Yan's face turned bright red, his teeth grinding audibly. Was this old geezer Zhou Dihao determined to wreck the chip? This time, the staff didn't hesitate. The holographic projection ran again. The final result was still 0. Once, twice, 3 times, every test result was 0. Good heavens! 5 times. Our previous chips couldn't even handle 1 round. Zhou Dihao must be insane. And this was fixed by someone who repairs appliances? It's a miracle. Old Yen could no longer hold back. Director Zhou, where on earth did you find that genius who can use the lithography machine to this level? Enough, Old Yen. Does our chip meet your standards? It does, it does. Director Zhou, more than enough. IP 0000470053. Then what about what you said earlier about sending me to a military court? Zhou Dihao was now being a bit petty. The 7th Research Institute, in all of Dragon Country, amounts to nothing. Why did the central system send people here? Because you didn't trust me. You didn't trust me after 1 test, so I gave you 5 runs. Now do you believe me? Look here, Director Zhou, we're both getting on in years. Why be so stubborn? Hey, you there, go to my car's trunk and get that fine to Hong Pao tea. For Director Zhou to try. Everyone around was stunned. Everyone in the central system knew Old Yen had a temper. Director Zhou, here's the detailed data report for all 5 tests. Please sign. Let me. How could such a trivial matter trouble Director Zhou? Old Yen quickly took the documents from the staff member and examined them closely, his smile growing warmer. The data from all 5 tests were different. Results, calibration accuracy, calibration indicators. How could the chip's stability keep improving? What the hell? Look at this feedback curve. Old Yen stared at the stack of data. The more he looked, the happier he got. If we had more data like this, what would America have to show for itself? Hey, old Joe, buddy, let me ask you something. This thing, was it really fixed by that appliance repair shop owner? Yeah, old Yen grinned and stuffed the papers into his briefcase. What, still don't trust me? It's not that I don't trust you. It's just that this whole thing, it's too unbelievable. At the very least, you should tell me what materials he used. Hey, it'd be a contribution to our scientific research. Fine, I'll call the boss. Everyone, quiet. Boss Chen? Hope I'm not interrupting. I'm Shin Qingxi's uncle. I had something fixed at your shop that afternoon. You remember me, right? Oh, it's you. You're all better and calling me? Trying to shake me down? No. I'm here to bring you good news. That lithography machine module you fixed is working great. No kidding. Can you tell me something I don't know? To fix that foreign lithography machine for you, I actually scraped the tin off a Lao Ganma lid and crushed it into powder for the solder. I was going to use the lid from an animal cracker box. Only charged you a few $100. You got off easy. Everyone on site was stunned. What the hell is this? A Lao Ganma lid can fix lithography machine tech? A chili sauce company's technology? Isn't that a bit too advanced, Boss Chen? So many ways to fix a lithography machine. First time I've ever felt like this thing is so cheap. You can just scrape something off any random lid and fix it? I mean, come on. Sir, you got business? If not, I'm busy. Neighbor Lu over there needs his induction cooker for stir-fry. No, nothing else. The moment Zhou Dihao finished speaking, I hung up the phone. Then the whole lab fell into dead silence. What did that boss say at the end? He said he had to fix an induction cooker. He can fix a lithography machine. Why an induction cooker? Zhou Dihao's throat bobbed a few times. He answered with difficulty. He said neighbor Lu needs it for stir-fry. Stir-fry, old Yen repeated blankly. Then, face first, he toppled straight backward. Get him to the hospital, quick. In the hospital ward, 15 minutes later. Doctor, how's the patient? Nothing too serious. Just a rush of blood to the head. His blood pressure spiked pretty hard. What did you do to him? At his age? You can't go pulling stunts like that. Hearing that, Zhou Dihao finally let out a sigh of relief. Stunts? What could be more of a stunt than a lithography machine fixed with a Lao Ganma lid? What's more insane is that it completely overturns every scientific principle. What kind of guy is this appliance repairman? Dean Zhou, can we contact that boss again? We want to know. Which brand of Lao Ganma lid can fix a lithography machine? This is very important to us. Dean Zhou, you can't hold out on us. This benefits all of China. Don't worry, the credit is yours. We won't try to take it. I didn't say you would. It's just that this boss has a bit of a temper. No matter how important we think we are, in his eyes we're nothing. Let me find a better opportunity. And I'll convince him to work for the country. Seeing that, everyone dropped it. They all nodded. The afternoon sun was lazy. After finishing the morning's work, with a toothpick in my mouth and my hands behind my head, I leaned back in my chair, swaying, thinking about what to eat. Just then, a warm voice called from outside the door. Little Chen, haven't had lunch yet, have you? Look at this induction cooker. So fast now that it's fixed. Auntie just made some braised pork. Come on, try it. Oh, thanks, Auntie. When it comes to the taste of home cooking, no matter how many spices a restaurant uses, it can't beat a home-cooked meal with just salt and dark soy sauce. That's the truth, Auntie. Thank you. You never charge for repairs. If it weren't for you today, Auntie wouldn't even be able to eat. Your skills are better than the official after-sales service. While she was talking, on the other side, as if at the central hub inside Song Mingyuan's office, 2 men stood before Song Mingyuan, their heads nearly touching the ground. Song Mingyuan sat behind his desk, his back ramrod straight. Laid out in front of him was the black guy bug that I had fixed. This is a military-grade bug, Class A security clearance. The core technology was revised countless times by our research institutes before it was perfected, and one little repair shop owner cracked it. How long did he take? 5 minutes? No, 6 minutes. A military-grade bug. You're telling me he fixed that thing without using any tools? Do I look like an idiot to you? That's pure bullshit. It's true, Minister. We went in saying it was a music player, but he just picked it up and tapped out the top-secret restart sequence. Our painstakingly built Heigu system, he activated it. It seemed like he knew what it was from the very beginning. A repairman for home appliances tapped out the top-secret sequence with nothing but a lousy finger, no instruments. How does that sound so sci-fi? The entire office instantly fell into dead silence. Song Mingyuan leaned back in his chair, closed his eyes, and breathed evenly. But his mind was racing. What about the shop? Is there anything special in the shop? Not really. It seems like a very ordinary repair shop, covered in grease. Parts piled up everywhere, and it's very messy. As soon as we entered, we repeatedly inspected the shop. We didn't find any hidden compartments or high-tech equipment. Song Mingyuan took a deep breath, his eyes full of disappointment. A person who can casually crack the Heigu system would willingly stay in a messy repair shop. That in itself is pretty strange. Could this guy be a hidden ace up Zhou Dihao's sleeve? But that doesn't add up. If he really was Zhou Dihao's ace, Zhou Dihao wouldn't have reported him. Just as the atmosphere in the office was so tense it could drip water, the door suddenly burst open. Minister Song, look, it worked. Zhou Dihao didn't lie to us. That 1% precision is real. Where did you get this report? Song Mingyuan took the stack of reports, glanced at them, and immediately frowned. Professor Yen took us to the 7th Research Institute. This report came from there. What do you think, Minister Song? With this report, we can announce to the world China's breakthrough in lithography technology. Where's Professor Yen? Why didn't he come back with you? Professor Yen is hospitalized. Hospitalized? What illness? No illness. He got too excited seeing the report and passed out. According to the doctor, he was overexcited, blood pressure spiked. Song Mingyuan was completely speechless. Even the esteemed Professor Lu was brought down by a chip report. It seems the day for China to break through Western countermeasures has arrived. Just then, the phone on the desk rang. Hello? General Zhao Hu? Xiao? I know him. No, absolutely not. General Zhao, I know you all want to catch Xiao, but isn't this a violation? No, absolutely not. The moment he picked up the phone, Song Mingyuan repeatedly refused. His expression grew worse by the second. Old Zhao, it's not that I don't want to help you with this. I really can't. That Xiao is a hexagonal warrior. In military exercises, Xiao is every commander's nightmare. This guy never plays by the rules. His tactics are infuriatingly devious. Last year, Zhao was elite armored division. Didn't even make it halfway through the exercise zone before the exercise directorate ruled them all dead. The biggest rule in exercising against Xiao is that there are no rules. Old Song, this exercise is mainly about simulating and countering future high-tech warfare. We can't fight tomorrow's war with yesterday's troops, so you have to help me out this time. This time I'm definitely going to catch Xiao. Old Zhao, it's not that I won't help. The military has its own rules. The Research Institute has its own rules. We're two separate systems. You can't just take things from the Research Institute. Go fight in the military arena? Song Mingyuan's face was twitching all over. If he actually helped with this, it would be a huge sin on his part. The Yanxi department would definitely inspect the weapons and equipment, and it would only be a matter of time before suspicion fell on him. Rules are set in stone, but people are flexible, right? Old Song, Director Song, just help me out this once. I'll give you a few of my newly trained soldiers to stand guard for you. And I'll throw in a few bottles of my 20-year-aged Moutai. I've got my own guards for standing watch, and I don't lack alcohol. How about I call you Brother Song, Brother Song? Give me some of that laser weaponry, electromagnetic pulse stuff, anything. I'm not asking you to go out of your way. Even if it's just some prototype that's barely showing promise in your lab, that'll do. His voice carried a hint of pleading. Song Mingyuan's forehead started to sweat. He knew what a military exercise meant in the army. If you get equipment from me, it defeats the purpose of training through the exercise. I'm telling you, Brother Song, do you call Zhao's tactics training? Supersonic missiles? A swarm of drones just like a sci-fi movie. My radar doesn't even show them. Then the director's office notified me the exercise was over. If it's really that impossible, just give me a few precision-guided chips. Can't I install them on the warhead myself? No, General Zhao, that's a matter of principle. Minister Song, you're really something. Then just wait to collect my corpse. Zhao Hu slammed the phone down hard. Song Mingyuan held the buzzing receiver, stunned. It's over. This time he's completely pissed off Zhao Hu. Inside the 7th Research Institute lab, the roar of machinery. Walking back and forth with the crowd in research uniforms, all in a hurry. What is Dean Zhou up to? Does our institute have this many projects? I don't know. Seems like Dean Zhou fixed the Nandu 3. They're going to test its performance. Wasn't Nandu 3 a scrapped project from the Aerospace Systems Department? Where did Dean Zhou get it fixed? Could it be that repair shop again? Can that repair shop even fix the Nandu 3? The people below were dumbfounded. Ever since that mysterious repair shop appeared, their work has seemed endless. Before, the machines could take a break. Now the machines never stop and people have to work around the clock. Hey, what are you guys chatting about? Hurry up, Dean Zhou is coming. As the words fell, Zhou Dihao walked in through the main door. He was in a protective suit, holding a small box in his arms. Wu Zhang, how are the preparations? Report to the Dean, everything is ready. Good. The test of the Nandu 3 Global Satellite Navigation System's high-precision atomic clock synchronization chip officially begins. Nandu 3 chip ready. Target locked. Simulated interference signal activated. Level 5. VETNF equals -7.163 FRIF 5.372 MCVRCE 4 RE.9039. During the interference signal report, CD 475 stuttered a bit. Level 5 interference. This is almost simulating the harshest wartime environment. 6.333 1.3.369 A72.817. Under such conditions, it's enough to make any top-tier navigation system go completely blind. Alright, let's begin. As Zhou Dihao gave the order, a drone began to move. On the side of the projection were all the detailed parameters of the drone. Then the entire environment in the projection changed dramatically. WG clamp K152.20 SCCED. Various data began to skyrocket, countless chaotic signals interlaced, directly enveloping the drone. The drone, which had been steady just moments ago, began to wobble. ROQR alert, the drone's course has deviated. Zhou Dihao looked at the data on the screen, a look of disappointment on his face. Failed? Indeed, the world is fair to everyone. Chen Yuanzhou being able to fix the lithography machine was already the utmost limit. Now asking him to repair the Nandu satellite navigation system is clearly still a bit out of his specialty. But the ability to fix the lithography machine is already incredibly impressive. But just as Zhou Dihao was lowering his head in disappointment, a burst of exclamations suddenly rang out on sight. He looked up abruptly. On the holographic screen, A7467, 5 to 395, actually showed a third set of data. According to the name display, it was from the chip's own data algorithm. It firmly held down the drone's data and then bundled another algorithm on its own. In the end, the data on the big screen stabilized completely still. The drone hovered safely in the sky. What is this? Do we have this thing in the satellite? Not in the Nandu satellite, but Boss Chen has it. Zhou Dihao showed an extremely smug smile. I said it back then, I just modified the algorithm inside a bit. But he never expected that my just a casual tweak would actually allow the drone to survive in a level 5 interference environment. What is inside that kid's head? If I could bring him to my institute, wouldn't I take off? Who exactly is this boss? Can he fix anything? Everyone suddenly became curious. The lithography machine module was missing, and he fixed it. Now he's fixed the Nanda 3 chip too. And anything that goes through my hands works even better than new. As one inspiring report after another rang out, the site fell silent. Everyone was stunned. These sets of data represent not only the success of Nanda 3, but also a breakthrough never before seen in the history of Chinese scientific research. And Zhou Dihao also pressed a phone number on his phone. Hey Boss Chen, it's me. The Nandu 3 chip, the one you almost died in my shop over. Why are you calling? Trying to extort money? No, not extortion. I want to tell you, the chip you fixed is now stable to within a fraction of a millimeter. This is a very impressive result. What's up? Zhou Dihao excitedly said a lot, but the me on the other end showed no excitement at all. Boss Chen, aren't you surprised? This data is surprising. Why would I be surprised? Do you think I'm some con artist? I have integrity, you know. Do you think I'd take your few $100 for nothing? Boss Chen, that's not what I meant. Okay, bye. Zhou Dihao was a bit bewildered. He felt like it was a trap he set for me. Dean, are you okay? I'm fine. Pack up the chip for me. I need to go to the aerospace department. The Nanda 3 was taken from the aerospace department. Back then, they said this thing couldn't be fixed, so they gave it to Zhou Dihao to try his luck. On the other side, a military vehicle sped towards the same destination, the aerospace system. In the back seat, Zhao, whose face was so dark it could drip water. That old blockhead, choosing to turn a blind eye at this critical moment. You won't help, huh? Fine. Then I'll go directly to the aerospace systems department to find Zheng Qiwen. Here is the place that specializes in things in the sky. Thinking of this, Zhao, whose hope grew a bit more. The aerospace systems department building was a blur of people rushing around in a frenzy. Zheng Qiwen's office didn't look like an office. It looked more like a wartime command center. Phones were ringing non-stop, and people were coming and going, as lively as a marketplace. Everyone was hyped up, practically with the word urgent written on their faces. Minister, this drone engine report needs your signature. Hold on, Minister. The circuit improvement plan for launch base 3-inch needs your review. Zheng Qiwen sat in his chair, holding a phone in one hand, while his eyes were glued to the documents being handed to him. At that moment, he wished he could transform into Neza. Suddenly, an excited voice came from the doorway. Old Joe, what wind blew you here? What wind? The wind of the Nandu 3 chip. Take a look, will you? I fixed the Nandu 3. Wasn't the Nandu 3 project scrapped? Where did you get it fixed? This thing's performance is amazing now. In our lab, we've already done preliminary verification. The precision and anti-interference capabilities will absolutely blow your mind. All right, old Joe, I don't have time to mess around with you now. Look at these piles of documents I've got. Just take a look yourself. I don't have time to deal with you today. I really did fix it. Zhou Dihao's eyes widened in displeasure. Old Joe, let me tell you again. The Nanda 3 project was already condemned by higher-ups long ago. Fixing it would cost a ton of money, manpower, and resources. And there's no guarantee it could even be completed. But I really did fix it. Just look at it before you say anything. Can you do it or not? Fine, fine, fine. Your 7th Research Institute is the greatest. But right now, I need to review these documents. Take this thing away. If you really fixed it, then it's yours. Zheng Qiwen shoved the box right back at him. Zhou Dihao's face instantly turned sour as a surge of anger rose from his feet, shooting straight to his head. Then he turned around, grabbed the box, and left the office. Meanwhile, another figure emerged from the office building. Zhao Hu and his bodyguard. Both of their faces were darker than the other. How is Zheng Qiwen exactly like Song Mingyuan? What is it with principals? He's even harder to deal with than Song Jingyuan. I tried both threats and bribes, but Zheng Qiwen just wouldn't budge. The Nandu 3 is like casting pearls before swine. As the two walked into the courtyard, they heard someone cursing. Wasn't Nandu 3 that ambitious, cutting-edge project that got axed a while back? Zhao Hu turned his head, and his eyes met Zhou Dihao's face, which was grimier than a ghost's. Hello, sir. Were you just talking about Nandu 3? Zhou Dihao looked up and froze. Wow, I don't know this guy, but I can clearly see the stars on his shoulders. Hello, General. Yes, this is the Nandu 3 chip. It's the one our 7th Institute of Technology just repaired. But that old geezer Zheng Qiwen doesn't know a good thing when he sees it. He insists my Nandu 3 is fake. Zhou Dihao quickly saluted Zhao Hu, then pulled out his small box. Nandu 3? I remember that project was indeed scrapped. That was before, but our institute cracked the problem. We've upgraded the chip's technology. Now its precision can pinpoint a fly, and its anti-interference capabilities are extreme. Even if the sky were torn open, it'd still work. Most importantly, it has its own independent computational logic. Zhou Dihao finally found an outlet to vent, excitedly rattling off one point after another. Is it really that impressive? Zhao Hu was stunned. He was a general, put him in charge of troops and battles, and he was fine. But when it came to scientific research data, he was clueless. How could I dare lie to you? If this were mounted on a missile, it would hit exactly where you aimed. If used in individual soldier equipment, it could mark targets deep behind enemy lines and stay in constant contact with command. Perfect, right? Zhao Hu's expression shifted from initial interest to doubt, and finally to utter shock. His breathing involuntarily quickened. He had dreamed of taking down Huashao, precise targeting, supreme anti-jamming, independent communication channel. Every single word struck Zhao Hu right in the heart. Can you vouch for what you're saying? Of course, I'm the director of the 7th Research Institute. A director this high up, why would I not keep my word? All right then, I'll allocate special funds to fully support mass production. If that special funding isn't enough, I'll apply for supplementary funding to push R&D forward. But our military must be the first to trial it, and you can't give it to anyone else in the short term. Well, General, mass production isn't possible yet, because this chip's encryption, pathways, and logical operations are all independent. It's an entirely new system. It's like a key that opens the door to the future. But right now we only have one key, and we still don't fully understand its internal structure. The most critical thing about this key is that it needs to interface with satellites in orbit. Don't worry, I'll apply to higher-ups. For the best research institutes to help you. I don't believe a great nation like ours with a finished product can't crack how it works. This little thing won't cut it, General. The research institute can't handle it. What's that supposed to mean? Our entire country's research institutes. Name any one of them, I'll go find them. And they can't handle a tiny chip like this? Zhao Hu's brows knit into a knot. In his eyes, the finished product was already there. That means there's a model to copy. Just copy it and you're done, right? General, the research institute really can't handle this. Then who can? A home appliance repair stall? What the hell? Zhao Hu's voice suddenly shot up several octaves. He felt like his ears were playing tricks on him. The research institute can't figure it out, and you want some home appliance repair stall to do it? Are you messing with me? This is a top-tier project that determines the future strategic direction of the country. General, I know this sounds crazy, but I can't explain it all right now. Just come with me and you'll see. Back in the repair shop, the air was thick with the smell of burnt plastic. I was holding a pair of tweezers, clamping a capacitor smaller than a grain of rice, replacing it in an old amplifier. Ding. Repaired an 80s amplifier. Earned 2 tech points. Current tech points, 1,940. As I set down the tweezers, a mechanical tone sounded. It's been days. All I've fixed are rice cookers and induction stoves. Tech points are growing slower than a snail. Back when I fixed the lithography machine and the Nanda 3 chip, those tech points came in like crazy. At this rate, forget the blueprints for a starship destroyer, I can't even scrape together a fraction of a single soldier exoskeleton. Just then, a military vehicle pulled up smoothly in front of the shop. Zhao Hu looked at the ordinary street before him, his eyebrows shooting up. General, this is the place. The street was a bit messy, with the cries of various street vendors everywhere. Plenty of people, but it looked no different from any other small street. You put a secret base here. Aren't you afraid it'll be exposed? Where do we enter? What's the password and signal? Secret base? General, there is no secret base and no entrance either. This is the repair shop we're here for. Zhou Dihao, are you messing with me? The great Nanda 3, even the research institute couldn't crack it, and you bring me to a dump like this? The military exercise is about to start. Do you think my time is for wasting? After a moment of silence, Zhao Hu exploded. General, don't get worked up. Our Nanda 3 was fixed right here. And not only that, the lithography machine from a few days ago, its precision was also tuned here. If this place can't do it, then I don't think anywhere in the world can. What? They can fix lithography machines too? Zhao Hu froze. Everyone knew how tough lithography machines were. This dump could fix one. He studied Zhou Dihao carefully. The man was the legitimate director of the 7th Research Institute. With credentials like that, he wouldn't trick him into coming to a dump like this. Fine, let's go in and take a look. If what's inside doesn't match what you said, even if you're the Emperor of Heaven, I'll have you fired. Zhao Hu straightened his clothes and walked toward the repair shop. Zhou Dihao let out a long breath. Xuanji followed behind him and entered. Detected reparable items. Flash Type 3 tactical flashlight, internal circuit board short circuit, Falcon single soldier tactical goggles, thermal imaging coating peeling, Hummingbird micro communicator, signal receiving module damaged. As soon as they came in, I picked up reparable info from the guy beside Zhao Hu. All military gear. Ah, and the man in front clearly had high rank, must be a big shot in the military. Long time no see, boss. Been a while, uncle. How's your health? Even though I didn't exactly like Zhou Dihao, the customer is God, I still had to be polite. Health's good, and the chip's good too. The stuff you fixed, Boss Chen, worked great. We ran a full set of tests back at the base. Performance was even better than the original. Alright, how about telling me something I don't know? Zhao Hu on the side shook his head. He'd expected the shop owner to be at least a middle-aged man in his 40s or 50s. Instead, he was just a kid in his 20s. He'd assumed there would be some special precision instruments inside. But after entering, all he got was a hint of rust, and the smell of burnt plastic floating in the air. Young, slick-talking, flippant and arrogant. This guy was supposed to be a master? What a joke. General, we haven't even started yet. Where are you going? Zhou Dihao, I'll settle accounts with you later. Hey, that officer, the tactical flashlight on your guard's belt has a circuit board issue. And the goggles he's wearing, the thermal coating is peeling. What's the point of using them at night? Might as well be blind. Oh, right, and the micro-communicator in his ear, the signal module, is fried too. Don't blame me if it blows up in his face later. I wasn't speaking loud, but every word carried clearly to everyone's ears, especially Zhao Hu's guard, who stared at me in disbelief. What's going on? Report, General. The flashlight was damaged during training a few days ago. The goggles and communicator got damaged by accident. I was planning to replace them today, but we changed the route suddenly and ran out of time. You broke all this important stuff. You were sent out to carry out a mission, not take a stroll in the park. Didn't report it, didn't replace it. If this were on a battlefield, you'd be a sitting duck. Zhao Hu was already furious. Right then, he was screaming directly in the guard's face. But then he thought twice and his body froze. They hadn't said a word since they walked in. How did this young guy know all that? How do you know? Only then did Zhao Hu realize it. His eyes locked onto me. Years of combat made the old soldier's killer instinct flare up instantly. Zhou Dihao next to him jumped too. He was scared that Zhao Hu would order the guard to drag me out and beat the crap out of me. Ever seen a decent person walking around with a bodyguard? Besides, I don't care what rank you are in the military, but this is my shop. Here, a dragon has to curl up and a tiger has to lie low. If you don't like it, get the hell out. Hearing that, Zhou Dihao was totally stunned. Dude, Mr. Chen, are you really this hardcore? This is a general. If he wanted to, forget your shop, he could toss you straight into a blast furnace, you know? Zhao Hu was shocked too. In his eyes, besides shock, there was pure disbelief. In all these years, except for getting a few kicks from his squad leader back in boot camp, nobody had ever dared talk to him like that. Who do you think you're talking to? The guard couldn't hold back. He clenched his fists and charged at me. Did I tell you to move? Get back here. Before the guard could reach me, Zhao Hu barked out. The guard's steps froze instantly, and he backed off. What the hell are you guys here for? Let me tell you, this is a repair shop, not a boxing ring. If you want to fight, go fight outside. On the surface I was calm as hell, but inside I was panicking like crazy. That big shot's bodyguard is something else. With those loose clothes, his muscles bulged out instantly. If that fist had landed on my head, this whole show would have ended early. Look, Mr. Chen, last time we had you fix a Nandu 3 chip. We want you to install that chip onto a warhead. So the warhead has a positioning function. Can you do it? That's wild. What are you planning? I got interested right away. This was a huge job. It's for battle. There's a guy in the Blue Army named Huashao. You should know him. We fight him and lose every single time. This time we want to win. Can you pull it off? Zhao Hu stared at me dead serious and asked. If I said no, he was ready to settle both old and new scores. I can definitely do it, but I need this much. I held up 5 fingers and waved them. 500? Sure, I'll scan the code right now. Zhou Dihao happily pulled out his phone. Ready to pay. What 500? This time I want 50 grand. Huh? Why? It's always been 500 before. Why the price hike? Because I don't like his face. He tried to get rough with me. 50 grand is cheap. I pointed straight at Zhao Hu, my eyes full of resentment. Fine, 50 grand it is. If you do a good job, I'll add another 50 grand. With a crisp payment notification, I took the big order. Alright, money taken, trouble removed. But this job can't be done here. I need to do it at your place. Why? That's a core project site. I don't know who you are. If some core info leaks, that's a huge problem. Let me put it this way. You look like a pretty big official. You're not trying to make me put a Nanda 3 on a bullet, are you? It'd have to be at least a shell. Is that something you can show off in the city? If that thing shows up, I'd end up on the news. Zhao Hu was speechless again, but this time he was totally convinced. He'd only thought about installing the chip on the Nanda 3, never considered that. Fine, no problem. Then you two wait. I'll grab my stuff, I said to them, and headed straight into the back storage room. Zhou Dihao and Zhao Hu were both stunned. They thought I was going to pack a suitcase, but I just came out with a shabby cloth bag. That's all you're bringing? What about the instruments? Instruments? My brain is the best instrument. I gave Zhao Hu a dirty look, then turned and walked out of the shop. Fine, he's the tech guy. As long as we can beat Hua Xiao, he can say whatever he wants. Did you two walk here? Where's your car? No plane or tank. We should at least have a military vehicle. Yes, yes, yes. Zhou Dihao quickly signaled to the guard. Before long, a regular car and a military vehicle pulled up. Not bad, I've lived this long. And never ridden in a military vehicle. Lead the way, lead the way. The two cars sped down the highway. I leaned back in the rear seat, resting my eyes. Adding a chip to a conventional warhead, this job is way more interesting than fixing kidney dialysis machines. The flight path of a conventional warhead, especially in the terminal phase, is affected by various factors. Airflow, temperature, humidity, target movement, etc. The so-called terminal correction means. In the final stage just before the warhead hits the target, using internal microthrusters to adjust attitude. Correcting these deviations. A few hours later, the two vehicles slowly drove into a heavily guarded military compound. High walls, electrified fences, guards every 3 steps. Sentinels every 5 steps. Soldiers patrolled back and forth with loaded weapons. As soon as I entered, I felt an intense, solemn atmosphere. Truly worthy of a military camp, this vibe is imposing. Mr. Chen, we've arrived. Upon hearing that, I grabbed my shabby cloth bag and got out of the car. After entering the building, I was deeply impressed. This is way more magnificent than my repair shop. A huge factory-like structure, spacious, with all kinds of precision instruments I couldn't name running. Workers in various uniforms were busy at their stations. My appearance immediately drew everyone's attention. Isn't that General Zhao? Who's that young guy behind him? No idea. He doesn't look like anyone important, more like a country bumpkin. Don't talk nonsense. Could an ordinary person be accompanied by General Zhao? Old way, have everyone stop what they're doing and gather here. In no time, dozens of military engineers in work uniforms lined up. Let me introduce everyone. This is Zhou Dixing, director of the 7th Research Institute. And this is Chen Yuanzhou, a repair shop owner. Everyone turned to look at me, extremely puzzled. What's a repair shop owner doing here? Director Zhou, please give everyone an introduction. Yes, General. Everyone, the reason we're here this time is entirely for this. As he spoke, Zhou Dihao took from a small box. That chip. What is that? Haven't you seen high-tech before? Looks unusual, but what exactly is it for? Everyone immediately craned their necks to look at the thing in Zhou Dihao's hand, full of curiosity. This is the chip from the Nandu 3 satellite navigation system. Wasn't the Nandu 3 project cancelled? We don't have the manpower, technology, money, or time. How did this come about? Old Wei, as the head of the base, immediately took the chip and examined it carefully. No wonder it's Nandu 3 seamless monolithic molding. I've never seen this technology before. The substrate material is also unusual. It's not ordinary silicon-based, more like carbon-based material. Look at this precision. It must be at least under 3 nanometers. Which lab made this? What about power consumption and heat dissipation? With such high integration, once it runs, the heat output will definitely be high. Within a few seconds, everyone started chattering excitedly. Zhao Hu observed this. Although this was a military base, the military engineers here were all recruited from other research institutes. Even these people could see with their own eyes how terrifying the Nanda 3 was. It seemed this thing really had something going for it. What do you think? Sorry, General, we can't understand it. We only know this thing is extraordinary. The research institute that produced it must be extraordinary. Old Wei smiled wryly and shook his head as he spoke. The others nodded in agreement, each looking more clueless than the last. Zhao Hu's face darkened as he listened. He had always thought his personnel here were extremely excellent. He never imagined that such a tiny chip. These people couldn't even understand it. Mr. Chen, please help introduce it to them. Zhao Hu took a deep breath and looked over at me. Ever since I walked in, I had been looking around at the instruments and environment here. Compared to my repair shop, it was like heaven and earth. But as good as it is, letting such a bunch of blockheads use it is really a waste. I chuckled softly, walked in front of everyone, picked up the chip and said, all right, I knew you wouldn't be able to make heads or tails of it, but I didn't expect you to be this bad. Everyone frowned upon hearing that. Who do you think you are? Everyone allowed in here has at least a PhD. This kid doesn't even look like he graduated college. Why is he so arrogant? Aren't you afraid of tripping over your tongue? This thing is called Nandu 3. You all know that already. This core computing unit uses a 114 core sequence. It's normal that you can't understand it.